It's that question that kind of echoes in the quiet moments, the one we ask ourselves all the time, but maybe don't say out loud. So today, we're going to explore it, not with any judgment, but with some real, honest understanding. Yeah, this is the big one, right? Maybe for you, the answer feels super complicated, or maybe it's painful, or maybe it just feels fuzzy, unclear. The truth is, for so many of us, this was never the destination we had in mind. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's just a simple, powerful truth. Nobody fantasizes about coming home to an empty house or constantly checking their phone for a message that just isn't there. That's not the dream. A lot of the time, this isn't a choice we consciously made. It's a place we've landed after a whole series of events. Circumstances, timing that was just a little bit off, and, yeah, the choices of other people who are part of our story for a while. So, the very first step is just to acknowledge that feeling. For a lot of people, being single feels like this unwanted destination, a place we ended up, not a place we chose on the map. And the road that got us here, man, it's often paved with goodbyes that just never quite added up. Think about it. Maybe someone told you they weren't ready, or that you were too much, or maybe life just genuinely pulled you in different directions. Whatever it was, these endings can leave you standing there alone, trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. So how do we cope with that? Well, we build a narrative, don't we? We frame it for ourselves and for other people. We talk about how independent we are, how much we enjoy our freedom, how we're on this big journey of self-love and growth. And you know what? All of those things can be absolutely true, but we also have to be really honest with ourselves. Sometimes those words are a shield. They're survival tools we use to manage the hurt, to not have to explain ourselves to a world that seems completely obsessed with pairing up. It's a way to quiet that deep internal ache. But that ache isn't just internal, is it? That feeling gets amplified, turned up to 11, by a world that's in a constant state of comparison, putting this huge pressure on all of us to find a partner. And this creates such a jarring contrast. You're scrolling through your phone and you see all these perfectly curated moments, engagements, weddings, happy family photos. But your private reality, it can feel so different. It's the silence when you walk in the door, the empty phone, the endless scrolling just to feel some kind of connection. And that constant comparison, it always leads to this quiet, nagging question, doesn't it? We start to turn it all inward, replaying old conversations, old choices, and we start wondering if we're the problem. And that is such a heavy weight to carry around. But what if we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? This next part is all about flipping the script. Let's try to look at this from a completely different angle. I want you to just sit with that for a second. Let it really sink in. Being single is not a failure. It's not a punishment, and it is definitely not proof that you are somehow unlovable. This right here is the foundation we need to build on. So let's redefine this thing. What if being single right now is the direct result of your own strength? What if it's simply the price you pay for having standards, for refusing to settle for a love that doesn't feel right in your bones, and for having the incredible courage to walk away from something that was only almost good enough? And look, that doesn't mean it's easy. Of course, this choice can be lonely. There are definitely nights when the quiet is deafening. There are moments when you just wish you didn't have to be so damn strong. But feeling that loneliness, that doesn't make you weak. It's just proof that you were made for connection. It makes you beautifully, achingly human. So, okay, if this solitude is the price for having high standards, what are we actually gaining from it? Well, this season of life, it's teaching us some really profound lessons we might have otherwise missed. Because when you find the courage to just sit in that silence, you're forced to do the real work. You get to meet the actual you, without the filter of a partner. You have to face your insecurities head on. But you know what? In doing that, you discover a strength you never knew you had. You learn how to define your own worth on your own terms. And this is the essential mindset shift. This time in your life isn't some cosmic punishment or a holding pattern. No, it is an active period of preparation. You're preparing yourself to finally recognize real, healthy love when it shows up and to build a relationship that's actually right, not just convenient. And this is a truth that so many people learn the hard way. That feeling of being totally misunderstood or just unseen in a relationship, that can be way deeper, more painful kind of isolation than just being by yourself. Your solitude is actually protecting you from that specific kind of heartache. So, as we start to bring all of this together, it is so vital to see this period for what it is. It's a single, meaningful chapter, but it is not the entire story of your life. Because even when it feels like nothing is happening on the surface, this is what's actually growing underneath. You're cultivating patience, you're learning how to set rock-solid boundaries, and maybe, most importantly, you're internalizing this crucial truth that your value as a human has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you've been chosen by someone else. So please, hear this. Let it land deep. You are not late, you are not broken, you are not behind schedule. Everyone's story unfolds on its own unique timeline. Some love stories start early, sure, but some of the best ones only arrive after we've become strong enough to truly hold them. I just love this way of looking at it. This isn't some final destination, it's this sacred, transformative space. It's the gap where you're shedding the skin of who you used to be and you're growing into the person you're meant to be next. And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. This quiet period you're in right now. It just might be this silent, unassuming start to the most beautiful and meaningful chapter of your entire life. The real story